Nearly 200 million Americans are now in the path of a dangerous winter storm system, with warnings and alerts now stretching from the Mexican border all the way to Maine.
44 states on alert this morning. About 70% of the continental U.S. is covered in snow right now. That is the highest in a decade.
Nowhere is harder hit than Texas, where more than 3 million homes and businesses are without power and heat. The electrical grid simply can't handle the demand.
Officials imposed rolling blackouts, saying the lack of energy is due in part to frozen wind turbines in West Texas knocked offline. Pipes freezing and bursting across the state, and these power lines sizzling, taken out by heavy ice in Louisiana.
Slow down. Frozen roads sent an 18-wheeler careening out of control near Austin, and a man nearly lost his life jumping just seconds before a car lost control and crashed into a police cruiser.
Oh, hell no! Trucks spinning around, cars flying off the road? This storm has turned Texas into that ice level from Mario Kart. If I was in Texas right now, I'm carrying around a green shell with me just to be safe. And how about that guy who jumped out of the way of a flipping car? That was some real action movie shit, like real life action movie. The only thing missing was him turning to the camera afterwards with like one of those cool one-liners. Nice try, buddy. And you gotta understand, this is especially tough for Texans because they're not equipped for snow. They don't have snow shovels out there. Their best bet is to grab their AR-15s and shoot each snowflake before it lands. Go back to Canada where you belong! Ah! But this just goes to show you that with climate change, everyone has to be prepared for every kind of condition, no matter where you live. You're in Arizona? Well, you better get a parka. Minnesota? You need a big sun hat. New York, you start carrying around an anti-scorpion spray. And that's not a climate change thing. My pet scorpion has escaped. So if you find Roger, please return him. Now, it turns out there are a lot of reasons that Texas has suffered such a huge power outage. Supply for electricity is down. The demand is surging. But experts also say that Texas neglected and underinvested in its grid until it finally broke during the storm. And look, guys, I get it. Spending money on maintaining infrastructure is probably the least sexy thing that you can do with your tax dollars. But it's one of those things you're going to take for granted until you're in an emergency. It's the same way how the people who built the Titanic didn't focus on lifeboats. Instead, they were too focused on getting cars for their passengers to bang in. But let's move on now from news to New Orleans, where the drinks are strong, the people are friendly, and the wains are little. Today is Mardi Gras, when the city would normally throw its famous costumed parade. But in Corona times, things are a little more subdued.
It may be the quietest Bourbon Street has ever been on Mardi Gras. Normally the heart of the city's most iconic celebration, the French Quarter, is virtually empty. Almost a year into the pandemic, New Orleans isn't taking any chances. It limited liquor sales and shut down all bars for the 5 days leading up to Fat Tuesday.
It's not going to be not celebrated. It's just going to be celebrated differently.
Local artists are turning Mardi Gras into Yardi Gras, with themed outdoor displays inspired by both tradition and pop culture. Even a global pandemic can't keep these beats away.
Yes, friends, this year, Mardi Gras is Yardi Gras. And I think this is the right move. I mean, the sooner the people of New Orleans can stop the spread of COVID, the sooner they can get back to spreading gonorrhea. And yeah, it's sad, but it's just not safe to hold a Mardi Gras parade. I mean, during a pandemic, a tuba just turns into a COVID fire hose. But honestly, I'm glad that they found a way to safely still celebrate Mardi Gras. And remember, we can find ways to do things during this pandemic. Like you and I, we can celebrate Mardi Gras from home, over Zoom. You just need some beads, and you do the whole thing, and then you have some... Mom! Someone broke your laptop!